Other interesting political news, you have Vivek on how Trump could possibly pardon himself. Maybe. Now, appreciate to say, but this does come from Vivek's ex-Twitter profile, in which he says, quote, can Trump be pardoned by the president for the conviction in New York? Answer, yes. Here's why. The New York felony charges directly relied on claims that Trump violated federal law. New York prosecuted Trump based on the novel legal theory that he committed a misdemeanor, falsifying his business records, with the intent to commit another crime, including violations of federal election campaign finance law. That means if the alleged federal violation is expunged, the state felony conviction disappears along with it. Shocking how far the MSM has gone in the last 24 hours to hide this fact by expressly writing headlines that a pardon is impossible, unquote. Getting 3.9 million views as well as 30,000 likes, which is one of the most viral things Vivek has said in 2024. One of the first comments, actually, he says, here we go. Wall Street Journal says, click to see the full argument here. Getting 4.1 thousand likes. Scrolling down more and more. Let's see. We have Kim. Is this a contrarian statement right off the bat? That'd be interesting. Kim is a producer and founder interested in art, design, fashion. Well, at least she has the courtesy. So we do follow each other, so we do know of each other. So she has, what is it? Is that the do-rag? Nevertheless, Kim says, Speaker Johnson, exactly what attracted you to Donald Trump? Was it the violence against women, the criming, his love for Putin, or merely just his callous disregard for human life? Perhaps it was something off this list, unquote. Mentally vacuous? Yes. But let's see how many people liked it. 398 people did like it. Was she ratioed? Maybe. Nope. See here. Michael Steen was one of the most liked response to her. He says, I think it's Trump's support for the idea that fraud laws don't apply to rich people. Which, again, is a misdemeanor that should never been in the court. But nevertheless, she did get 399 likes. Because, again, this is going to be huge. I mean, not to be cliche, but I'll try my futile attempt to use Trump's vernacular, or more accurately, his actual tone. You say, this trial was huge, and I raised $200 million, the most any candidate ever, probably. Don't fact check me. But nevertheless, it is raising records amount of money, and just like the very infamous picture of Trump getting arrested with the mugshot, people on the left are taking the same instance, and they're raising campaign funds as well. I don't think as much, but I'm still waiting to see some of the latest updates on statistics on how much Democrats have used this conviction in order to raise funds on their side of the political aisle. Now, you have Mark Mendelez saying Trump should never accept a pardon from Joe Biden or allow him to appear magnanimous when he is the one behind the prosecution and persecution. Nothing short of clearing his name is acceptable. I'm quoting 29 likes. 3-year Letterman says the president has the authority to pardon anyone in the world for any crime at any time, past, present, or future. Getting 1.4 thousand likes, which is pardon anyone in the world. I mean, maybe back in the day when the United States was, moral, upright, and, was helping lead the world, both morally, culturally, and business, and pretty much every metric, freedom, obviously. These days, the U.S. is kind of losing, they don't have much ground to stand on, which is heartbreaking, as more and more schools don't even have American flags in them, patriotism is all the time low, and you see how much of the government resource allocation is directed towards, punishing and actually, taking away freedoms from law-abiding citizens. But nevertheless, I'm not sure if you can actually pardon someone halfway across the globe. Maybe as a courtesy, the other countries might listen. But nevertheless, Collins says, problem is that he was not charged with violating a federal campaign finance. He was charged for falsifying a business record to cover up a violation of New York statute regarding elections. He was not charged with violating a federal statute, which, again, as Vivek was saying, is kind of building upon each other. That did get 1.8 thousand likes, though. Is Vivek going to get ratio? Let's find out. Josh Marshall says, you're coming up with a stupid idea that anyone with any knowledge knows is laughable BS does not, in fact, be true. Please go back to founding phony companies. I don't know why this sounds grammatically awkward, but nevertheless, that did get 2.2 thousand likes. And truth be told, Vivek has founded multiple successful companies, but nevertheless. Suburban Black Man says, you're forgetting the important facts here. 1, Biden is not the real president. 2, the Obama-Biden regime is who convicted Trump in the first place. That did get 1.8 thousand likes. Ooh, is this another contrarian statement? Josette Caruso says, but that would mean that Biden would be considered a good guy, and instead he relishes being called Dark Brandon. He's actually just too stupid to understand the ramifications of doing something that actually could benefit him, unquote. Which, actually, now that would be a crazy idea. What if, I'm not sure, maybe he had a Bud Light, but what if Biden were to actually pardon Trump? That would be interesting. Would it ever happen? No, I don't think he's cognitively able to do that. But if he did, if Biden really wants to unite the country, that would be a power move. Because again, a lot of people never vote for Biden just because, again, a lot of people are locked into their political parties. So it doesn't matter who's on the ballot; they're just going to vote for whatever D or R is on the ballot. And I don't know, for people in the middle, I think the economy and the border are bigger factors that will actually lead to Trump probably winning the election if it's fair and equal. But if Biden were actually to pardon Trump, I would argue, again, Biden has said he wanted to unify the country. Hasn't really. But I think that would actually be a good thing for the country. I know a lot of people are saying it's a radical idea. It would never happen. Again, the propensity of this to happen is basically zero. Well, not zero, but 0.0000783. It's statistically not, technically not zero, but it's close. Percentage, obviously. But that would be an interesting thing. I mean, well, for what's left of Biden's brand or his legacy, I think that'd be actually a good way to end on a high note. Again, there are a lot of other negatives in his place. Obviously, we've seen the economy, we've lived life. But politically speaking, if he wanted to preserve his legacy, that is something he could do. He should say, Americans, we voted for this, half the country wants the opportunity to vote for this. This is America. We don't prosecute people based, we don't believe in political prisoners. Granted, I know Biden's campaign, a lot of people on staff are also responsible for this, and you have people, moving from the federal government to this local state government, just like actually bring up these charges. But I know it never happened. But morally, and I think that'd be astonishingly brilliant. Y'all just, again, if he thinks he's on his deathbed, or Biden, or if he thinks he's not going to make it, that'd be a good way to preserve what little legacy you have. I know it's a crazy idea. Let me know what you thought about that specific idea in the comments. Again, I'm not sure, in terms of marketing, I'm not sure how popular Dark Brandon is. I see it more and more. Again, her statement did get 180 likes. See here? Real Trump Take says, absolutely, let's cut to the chase. The recent conviction in New York is a farce, relying on a flimsy argument to prosecute Trump. If the alleged federal violations are expunged, the state convictions falls apart. The MSM's denial of this fact is a desperate attempt to hide the truth, getting 621 likes. Saga says, President Trump does not need a pardon. The pardon is for the guilty. He is an innocent man. He did nothing wrong. Stop it with people talking about pardons. What he needs is for the Supreme Court to do his job and overturn the whole sham trial and convictions. Getting 611 likes. Grammar be damned. Now, never rely on the Supreme Court to do the right thing because they've acquiesced from doing their job multiple times. I mean, I know there are some people at the Supreme Court I have the utmost respect for, but yeah, they also don't count on them to save the day. They do some great things, don't get me wrong, but also don't forget they have someone on the Supreme Court who cannot define what a woman is. And she is picked because of her gender and race. Yeah. Another low point for Brandon, or Biden. Let's see here. Kathy, who I'm going to say she's got to be, I mean, it's fascinating how you can see, so her emojis are Canadian flag, dictator. What's this? Pride flag, blue wave, mask emoji, sunflower, most useless of all the flowers, and a Canadian maple leaf. She describes herself as happy mama and Bipa, living with RA, breast cancer survivor, born in NL, she, her. Nevertheless, Kathy did say the president cannot pardon state convictions, period. Spin doctors are a big time, getting 628 likes. She ratio, though. Mark Brandon did say, okay, Karen getting 28 likes. So, not ratioed. Let's see. Gary, who's, what's this? The American? He doesn't have an American flag, but he has a pride flag. This a pride flag. Oh, I thought it was a soldier. It's a camo hat. Again, they don't have a monopoly on camouflage. Civilians can wear it as well. And describes himself, I'm a gay liberal Democrat. I believe democracy is worth saving. Do you, though? Followed by the best people on X, no DMs. Oh, I can't even interact with him. He's followed by Art Candy, though, the girl we follow. Who, again, has an emoji of a popcorn and a water in a cup with a straw, which I don't know anyone who's actually consumed a beverage that way. Now, he says, quote, Vivek Ramaswamy dancing for Trump, but not the law. Trump can't be pardoned from a state conviction, period. I forget what that toad is from Looney Tunes. He got 140 likes. Let's see. First Wood says, good, a self-pardoned Trump would be much more satisfying than winning an appeal, especially when you measure the pleasure by the quantity of their tears. Getting 683 likes. Oscar Herrera says Trump lets pardon himself. Biden would never pardon him, getting 430 likes. Now, this is a funny profile name. Her name is Mike Pence's other mother. And she says, nope, getting 130 likes. Let's see. Keith Olbermann. I thought I followed him. Do I not? He's a very, when he's politically speaking, definitely the opposite of mine, but I'll follow him. Again, contrarian statements and echo chambers get boring. So Keith Olbermann says, quote, you're a moron. I got 1.9 thousand likes. So I was going to say, is this a 50-50 split or? That's a funny meme. It's Obama and Biden. Oh, spoiler alert. It's well, I was going to say, we know who's really calling the shots at the White House. But nevertheless, the picture is in fact of Obama with Trump. And he says, I'm weaponizing the IRS, DOJ, FBI, and CIA. And Trump says, I'm weaponizing the American people. In 559 likes. Let's see. One more. Danger Disinformation says, this is the only shot Joe Biden has to deliver on his unity promise, but he won't because it will cost him the Democrat votes. For me, I'm 100% anti-Democrat. And Biden tweeted a couple years back, said, I pledge to be the president who seeks not to divide, but to unify. Who doesn't see red, white, and blue states, but another United States? And who will work with all my heart to win the confidence of the whole people. Again, that's from November 2020. That got 37 likes, which, again, if he really wanted to do that, if he truly believes that, this would be the opportunity of a lifetime to do. Nevertheless, statistically speaking, again, don't think it's going to happen. Again, this is probably one of Vivek's most controversial posts all year, and one of the very few instances where it seemed, I mean, just rolling down the comments, a little bit over 50% negative or against Vivek. Granted, I know this is a very polarizing political topic for a lot of folks, so it's not too surprising that there are some, well, interesting contrarian statements. That's what makes life interesting. I think I get F- for using that word too much in this episode, but nevertheless, do you think at the end of the day, it's possible Trump to get pardoned by Biden? Do you think it would be a net benefit to the United States? Or could that cost him what support that he does have? Let me know in the comments. As always, I'd be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to tune in. Again, trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of the month, so if you could click that button, I would greatly appreciate it. Also, giving me a thumbs up, thumbs down, or comment is a great way to give me some additional feedback, letting me know how I can make the show better and better. Lastly, don't forget to take the time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe, fight the good fight.